A U.S. jury has found a former HSBC executive from the UK guilty of defrauding client Cairn Energy in a 2011 currency trade. Prosecutors said Mark Johnson schemed to increase the price of sterling before converting $3.5 billion into pounds for Cairn, benefiting HSBC. Mr. Johnson, the former head of HSBC's global foreign exchange cash trading, was arrested in New York last year. The U.S. is seeking to extradite another UK banker, Stuart Scott, in the case. The lawsuit is related to a wider investigation into global currency markets. While banks have admitted to manipulating foreign currency markets, this suit was the first in the U.S. to target individuals. Speaking after the verdict on Monday, an attorney for Mr. Johnson maintained his client's innocence. "They've convicted an innocent man," the attorney said outside the courtroom. Prosecutors said Cairn, an Edinburgh-based oil and gas company listed on the London stock market, selected HSBC in 2011 to handle the conversion into sterling of $3.5 billion in proceeds from the sale of one of its subsidiaries. Telephone recordings. They alleged that Mr. Johnson and Mr. Scott, on behalf of HSBC, bought sterling in advance of the deal, inflating the currency's value and ultimately making about $8 million in fees and profits for the bank. Mr. Johnson, 51, was on trial for nearly 4 weeks in a federal court in Brooklyn, New York. He will be sentenced at a later date. The prosecutor's case revolved around recorded telephone calls, including tapes in which the higher price for the pound was blamed on a Russian buyer. His defense team argued that Cairn was aware that advanced trades would occur and said his comments were taken out of context. Separately, Mr. Scott has denied the allegations against him. HSBC, which was not charged in this case, declined to comment. The firm has said it is in talks with U.S. regulators to resolve an investigation of its foreign exchange trading. In September, the U.S. Federal Reserve fined the bank $175 million over unsound practices in its foreign exchange business.